In a big win for workers, the Federal Trade Commission voted 3-2 along party lines to ban most non-compete clauses. So these agreements are usually part of an employment contract that you would have to sign to get a job. And basically, it bans workers at one company from working for or starting a competing business within a certain period of time after leaving the original job. I think that's kind of ridiculous. I get maybe that this could have been originally meant to stop companies from poaching talent, but I don't really see anything wrong with companies that, want better employees. They want good employees. They want skilled employees to offer better wages and benefits to have them come over to your company and work for you instead. Maybe you should, I don't know, be more competitive. Maybe that might be a little unfair to a startup company. I suppose so. That said, getting rid of these non-compete clauses also actually helps startups. So that said, when you're talking about helping people, getting rid of these non-compete clauses actually helps workers. And that's far more important in my view. According to Democratic FTC Chair Lena Kant said, these clauses keep wages low, suppress new ideas, and rob the American economy of dynamism, which is, by the way, why the Chamber of Commerce loves these things. They're like, no, we want to protect these non-compete clauses so that we can keep wages low and suppress new ideas. Because, why would we want to have to compete against new ideas? Now, she says the FTC's final rule to ban non-competes will ensure Americans have the freedom to pursue a new job, start a business, or bring a new idea to market. And she pointed to the Commission's estimates that the policy could mean another $524 in income for the average worker, over 8,500 new startups, and 17 to 29,000 more patents each year. Wow. And economists at the FTC also estimate that non-competes suppress workers' income by 3 to 4%, denying Americans a collective $250 billion to $296 billion. They've also been shown to contribute to gender and racial wage gaps. Once again, getting rid of the non-competes sounds like a great thing, unless you're one of these corporations that like exploiting workers and keeping wages low. So now, EPI president, that's the Economic Policy Institute president, Heidi Sherholtz, also pointed out the need for the ban, saying this: EPI research found that more than 1 out of every 4 private sector workers, including low-wage workers, are required to enter these non-compete agreements as a condition of employment. Now, here's the thing. You would normally think that non-competes would be reserved for high-earning jobs like tech workers, right? Something that, like, where you have to go and, get a degree for, something like that, that's, these workers are so in demand and they're very highly skilled. And so, yes, we would like to make sure that if we invest the time into this worker as a company and hire them, that they don't just, as soon as they're done with training, or if they learn any of our secrets or trade secrets, things like that, they don't leave and start a competing business or work for our competitor, right? But no, it's actually not that. Chain restaurants are doing this. Chain restaurants are actually some of the worst offenders of making their employees sign these non-competing agreements. In fact, the chief of staff at the Restaurant Opportunity Senators United said that many restaurant workers, as a result of these non-competes, are stuck at their job earning as low as $2.13 an hour. Yeah. Look, I know some people might say, well, you signed the contract. You'd have to. Well, you wouldn't have a job if you don't sign the contract. And there's a lot of places that have snuck these into their employee contracts. Look, the way that they do this is they bury it in the fine print, right? And even a full third of them have to be presented only after a worker has accepted the job. So there's a lot of deceptive practices around this, making sure that, you hide or bury these non-competes until after you've already entrapped workers. And again, the food industry, when it comes to the food industry being the worst offenders, and we're talking about like McDonald's, Wendy's, Jimmy John's. It's estimated that as many as 1.4 million food workers have been bound by a non-compete agreement. You quit from McDonald's, you're not going to be able to go work at Wendy's, as a result of a non-compete. That is absolutely ridiculous. And by the way, a lot of these fast food companies have gotten together to do non-poaching agreements. In 2018, as many as 80% of fast food workers were affected by no-poach agreements, where the franchise owners will get together and say, okay, we promise not to poach workers from each other so that we can keep wages low. That seems like it'd be a violation of antitrust laws, but apparently they operate in a very legal gray area. So no one's been able to bring an antitrust suit against these companies for doing the no-poach agreements. Now, that said, let's get back to the reasons why these companies claim they need these things. Trade secrets. We want to protect our trade secrets. We want to protect our training methods. Yes, that's right. From these companies, these employees going over to other companies and showing our trade secrets after we teach them. No, I don't think an employee going to another restaurant after learning how to run a fryer is going to have a negative impact on your business. All right, that's just not going to happen. Look, at the end of the day, if you want to retain workers, if you're so worried about, oh, we're losing so many workers, so we have to trap them in non-compete clauses, why don't you just give them a reason to stay? Pay them better. Give them better working conditions. Flexible hours if they need them. Be a place that, people want to keep working at. But no, I forgot that costs too much money. I mean, oh my God, pay people more? No, we would rather deceptively entrap people into these jobs and make sure that they're stuck there without any recourse if they end up leaving. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. You might think that they do this because of good short-term profits, right? No, it turns out no, it actually doesn't help them. I mean, certainly doesn't help them in the long term. Look, the real reason that corporations love these clauses is because it's more expensive to have employee turnover, right? So they put these clauses into these employment contracts to lower turnover. Instead of actually paying people more and having better working conditions, they just entrap you. Oh, you want to leave because the conditions suck? Sad day for you. You're not going to be able to get a job in any of these restaurants or this entire industry. So good luck with that. I mean, you could stay because it wouldn't be good for you financially if you were to leave. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of got your balls in a vice, essentially. Yeah. So, look, ending these clauses is a step in the right direction. I love it. I think it's good that the FTC has finally, been able to take action on this. It's going to be a boon for workers, but at the same time, will it last? And that is the question, right? The Chamber of Commerce is already looking to, and these pro-industry groups are already looking to get rid of this ban on non-competes, and they're already doing their appeals. So we'll have to see whether or not this rule stands up to those challenges. But right now, it looks like workers have finally got a rule on their side and something to celebrate.